In this session, we're going to take a look at Office 2010, mainly Outlook, and we're going to be talking about organizing your database within the program. One of the first things that I do want to cover is how you can save a contact from an email that you receive in your inbox. What you do is select a specific email. You are going to hold down your left mouse button and drag that email over to the Contact tab on your left navigation toolbar. And what that will do is open up a contact record, and you'll notice it pulls in the name as well as the email address. With this option, it also pulls in the content of the email. If you don't want the content in the notes section, you can select it and hit the delete key on your computer keyboard. Do not hit the delete key in the actual contact record because it'll ask you if you want to delete the entire record. Now, the other way would be to select the sender's name from the preview pane or from the email itself. For me, I have my inbox set up in a preview format. The top half is the actual email, and the bottom half shows me the selected a preview of the selected email. In order to get this view, on your menu tab at the top, we'll click on View. And you also, I'm sure, have noticed by now that if you have Office 2007 or 2010, they've changed the menu toolbar. It's now called a ribbon toolbar, and all of the functions are broken down into different groups on that ribbon toolbar. In the layout group, we see reading pane. We can have our reading pane to the right. We can have it to the bottom, which is how I have mine set up. And we also can have it totally off. If you turn it totally off, it becomes a little tedious because when you're ready to see an email, you're going to have to double click in order to open it up. Now, in the bottom half of my menu or my preview pane, I'm going to click on the sender's name, and then I'm going to right click, and from my menu I'll left click on Add to Outlook Contacts. This now opens up the contact record. You'll see that it has included the individual's name. If a person has a company name associated with it or a telephone number on their signature, it'll pull in that information also. In this option, it will not pull in the contents of the actual email. I need to mention the very first way that I showed you by dragging the contact over to the contact tab and it pulling in the content of the email. If you delete that email from the contact record, it does not delete the contact or the content of the email in your inbox. So the inbox email is fine. It only deletes the content of that email from that contact record. Okay? Now the last option would be to actually click on contacts to go to the contact window and then choose new contact in the left corner, which will then allow you to manually add that information. Anytime you are adding something new or editing a contact record, make sure that you always in the top left hand corner of the window choose Save and Close. Now that we have our contacts in this section, we want to be able to organize them, and the way that you organize them is by categorizing them. It's the same as grouping them together. On the ribbon toolbar in the tags group, you'll notice Categorize. And Categorize, if you haven't edited it, it will show only color names in this window. So in order to edit that information, you will come down to all categories and you would select a specific color, and then you would choose rename. When you click on rename, it will allow you to type in a specific category name to associate with that color. This is also where you will come when you're ready to fully delete a category from the system. And also, if you want to give a category a totally new name or name a new category, we will click on New, type in the name, choose the color, and then save it. So you'll then be adding a new category. Now, if you have already added contacts to your Outlook program, but you may not have categorized them, you can batch categorize contacts instead of you having to do them one by one. Let's say that I wanted to take this entire group, I'll say from the marketing coordinators all the way over to Peachtree City. Marketing coordinators is already selected because I see it's highlighted. I'm going to hold down my shift key and then click on Peachtree City. That highlights everyone in between marketing coordinators and Peachtree City. I am going to click on Categorize, and then I'm going to choose Business. That has now grouped everyone as a business category. So when I double click on one of them, you'll notice that I have business, and I also at a previous time associated them to H&R. You can categorize a contact into multiple categories. Now, that same group, if I wanted to remove an individual from a specific category, or if I wanted to remove a group from a category, I can do that also. Probably the easiest way, especially if you have a large contact database, probably the easiest way to remove a group from a specific category or an individual from a specific category is by a different view. In your contact records, you can view your contacts by different views. What you're seeing on your screen is the address cards. In the current view group on your ribbon toolbar, there's an option that says by category. Click on by category, and you'll notice that your categories are going to be viewed by the color, by the name, and then it shows you the number of contacts associated with it. They call them items, but those are your contacts. So if you wanted to remove an individual from a specific contact record or category record, you can go to that category, select the individual, choose Categorize, and it shows you the category that the individual or individuals are associated with. You'll see this is miscellaneous. It has a little red box around the category color. All you have to do is click on that particular category, and it will remove that contact from that category. Now, if you want to remove a group of people from a category, let me show you what that will look like. I'm going to go back to address card, and I am going to select an individual. Let's put this individual in the friends group, and we'll choose save and close. When we go back to by category, I'm going to close up my categories so that you can see the category colors. And you'll notice that I have a friends category. And let's say that I had a group of 50 people there. I no longer needed that category. What I would do is select the category, click on Categorize, click on the category I want to remove, and you'll now see that that entire category has been removed. If I go back to address cards and go back to that individual record, that individual is still in my overall contact folder. They're just not associated with that specific category group any longer. So in this program, There are multiple ways that you can arrive at the same function. What I showed you is by doing it through the by category view, but you can also do the same thing by using your address card view. I just feel that it's probably a little more cumbersome, especially if you have a large database. If you're trying to go through and find all of those individuals that you have associated with a specific category, it's just easier if you go to the by category view and then you can make those changes. Now let's talk about creating separate folders. Let's say you have a farm list and you want to put them in a specific folder. Folders become important in Outlook when you're trying to do specific things. If you are trying to create a merge through the actual Outlook program or through even Microsoft Word, it is going to give you the ability to choose where you are pulling that contact information from, and you can choose Outlook contacts if you're doing that merge through Microsoft Word. And if you're using the Outlook contacts, it can only pull it from a folder. It will not pull it from a category record. So your folders can become important. And the way that you can create a new folder in this program, we want to go to the Folder tab, choose New Folder. We'll give it a name. We will select where we want this to be a subfolder of in the bottom half of the window. I'll select Contacts and then choose OK. We now see that the Johnson group is now a new folder added in our contacts record window. Now, if there are contacts in your overall contact folder that you want associated with another folder, you can copy that information to the new folder. And what we're going to do is just select a few individuals so that I can show you. We're going to move this group. I'm going to go back to the Home tab, and you will notice on your ribbon toolbar in the Actions group, we'll click on Move, and we're going to come down to Copy to Folder, and it will allow you to select the folder that you want to copy these records to. We'll choose Johnson Group, and it automatically had it selected because that's the folder, the last folder that we were working with, and we'll say OK. And now when I go to the Johnson group, there are the contact records that we just copied to that folder. So that's how you can create new folders and how you can move additional records to that folder from other folders. Now let's talk about creating a distribution list. A distribution list is going to allow you to email a group of individuals without having to select all of those names when it's time to create that email. If you batch list people together and just give that batch a name, then that list will go out, or that email will go out to that entire list when you choose to email it. So the process of setting up a new distribution list in Outlook 2010, on your ribbon toolbar in the New group, we're going to click on New Contact Group. We're going to give it a name, and let's just say Bowling Group. You can do this for personal. You can also do this for business. Now that we have given our group a name, in order to add members to it, in the members group, we're going to click on Add Members, and I am going to choose from Outlook Contacts. It's going to open up my Outlook contact windows for me to select who I want to put into my distribution list. Once you start adding individuals to your list, when you choose to save them, those individuals are going to be in alphabetical order. So we'll just choose a few. Click members once you select them, and then OK. And notice how it puts them in alphabetical order. If there is someone that you want to update their information because you may have an individual that changes their email address, but they also may be associated with a distribution list, what you will have to do is go to your contact records. You're going to update that individual contact record and save it. You will then open your distribution list, select an individual, and then click on Update Now. It will then update that member in your distribution list. It will update their records to their new email address that you previously saved in their individual contact record. Once you are done, you will then choose Save and Close. Now, if you want to add a new member, let's just say that you're at an open house and you are creating a distribution list from the individuals who are visiting your open house, you would click on Add Members, New Email Contact. You're going to type in that person's name. You're going to add their email address. The option that says Add to Contacts, this is going to allow you to do two things at once. This is going to add that individual to your distribution list, and it will also save them as an individual contact record in your contacts folder. Once you're done, you would click on OK, and then it will alphabetize that individual on your distribution list. When finished, you're going to hit Save and Close, and I will show you what a distribution list looks like. All of these records are distribution lists because you'll see the double head icon associated with them. If I wanted to mail an individual and use a distribution list, I'm going to click on New Email. I can select To. If you are in the Harry Norman office, generally when you click on To, you're going to be pulling up your individual contact records. Because I'm using Outlook as corporate, I have to select my contact records, and I'm going to click on Address Book and find my contacts. Now I'm going to type in the search window bowling. There is my group, and instead of putting them in the To field, I'm going to put them in the BCC field and then select OK. I'm putting them in the BCC field because when this email goes out, because I have multiple people associated with this list, I only want the individuals to see just their name when they receive the email. So when you're sending something out to multiple individuals, especially if this is a business email, you always want to add them to the BCC field. You do not need anything in the To field or the CC field if you want to add your name to the list so that you can see the time frame in which people receive their emails, or just to know that it did go out correctly. Then make sure that you add your name to the distribution list also. You also then would need to add a subject always, and then send your email out. Organizing your database ahead of time will save you a lot of time and a lot of headache when you are trying to work and maybe create campaigns. Making sure that you have all of that information done and organized, everybody grouped together, it allows you to work more efficiently. You can even email from the contact record. If I click on contacts, I can select any one of my groups or an individual, choose email. Remember, this one I selected is a PTA club. I know that this is a distribution list because there's a plus sign associated with it. When I click on the plus sign, it's going to show me all of the contacts that's associated with that distribution list. I do not want to keep this in the to field. I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to right click and choose cut. In order to find your BCC field, you're going to go to options, click on BCC, and that adds your BCC field. And then I can paste that information in that field. Type out my email and then send it out. So you're not confined to just using the mail button to email your information. You can also come to your contacts window, select the contacts that you want to email, and then click on the email button. For more instructions on how to utilize the Outlook 2010 contact records, you're going to go to the My H&R Office, click on the Training tab, and then select the Office 2010 folder.